Welcome back to another Basics, and today we're here at Vahrenberg Implement and we're here to teach you about brush hogs. A lot of people call mowers brush hogs, but brush hogs are like these. They're wild pigs that roam around in the brush. Or the other thing is, if you like fishing, bass fishing, brush hogs are these. They're little lures, plastic lures that bass can't resist and love to eat. Actually, that June bug's one of my favorite colors to throw for bass fishing. Brush hogs are fishing lures or wild pigs. Today I'm going to teach you about rotary cutters. That's the official name of a mower that is designed to cut pasture grass and knock down trees and clear paths. So if you're looking for brush hogs, visit your local tackle store, because that's where you find them. If you're looking for a rotary mower, come visit Vahrenberg Implement, and we're getting ready to show you Rhino Ag rotary mowers, or rotary cutters is the exact product name for the piece of equipment. So let's go learn about rotary. When we talk rotary cutters, the first thing we need to do is look under the deck. That is where the difference is going to be. A rotary cutter, as you can look here, has two swinging blades built to a blade carrier. Now there's different philosophies on blade carriers. There's round pan design, and then the infamous stump jumping protection capabilities. With this style of stump jumper, if you hit something inside the blade, it's got the ability to jump up, and we'll show you even a more advanced design when we get into the flex wing cutters. But basically, a flex wing cutter is going to have two swinging blades. They can be different sizes for different size mowers and different duties and capacities. These are a couple examples of a rotary mower blade. They're not a sharp edge. They're more of a blunt edge, so that you beat the material. You're beating the material to cut it in this capacity, which also allows you to cut trees and brush. And we'll teach you about capacities and stuff, but understanding a rotary cutter, it starts underneath. One of the most amazing things with a rotary cutter is the aerodynamics and how they actually design a rotary cutter. We're looking at the back end of the rotary cutter. Our material is going to be discharged this way. That's our front edge down there. Your material is cut from the front half of the thing, and the material is thrown back here. That's why you see this baffle. It actually pulls the material and throws it out the back. Understanding the aerodynamics under here, you got suction, which is the more round pan you have, the less suction. It actually moves the suction to the outer edge versus creating a lot of lift to lift that material, cut it off, and get a good clean cut. So how you design your blade carrier is very important in the quality of cut. And then you see very obstruction free around the back half of the rotary cutter. What that allows it to do is keep it from bunching. If you had blocks and stuff here, it's going to allow the crop material to ball up and come out in clumps versus nice clean cut pattern. There's a lot of engineering that goes into a rotary cutter, and you'd be amazed at how much is underneath versus on top. Now this is where it gets fun. We get to talk about Rhino Ag rotary cutters. Rotary cutters come in many different sizes, from 4 foot all the way I've seen up to 42 foot cut in a flex wing version. The big thing is matching your rotary cutter to the PTO horsepower of your tractor. The PTO horsepower is different than your engine horsepower. Your engine horsepower rating is bare engine with no accessories like a water pump, alternator, none of that. It's just gross horsepower. So when you're looking for a rotary cutter, you need to look at the manufacturer's recommended PTO horsepower and know the PTO horsepower of your tractor. PTO horsepower is what's available to do work. Now, one of the features on a rotary cutter that's different is right down here you see our slip clutch protection. A slip clutch is a series of plates that when you hit an obstruction, it allows it to slip, versus a shear pin. A shear pin is cheaper, but it's a little harder to put back together. You have to get off the tractor every time, put a shear pin in. If you hit it again, you got to do it again. Slip clutch, you stop, raise the mower up, it resets, and you're back to mowing fast, simple, and it's more effective and better protection. The next thing you need to do when you're considering a rotary cutter is look at cut capacity. What are you going to be cutting? Are you cutting grass? Are you cutting trees and brush? We're going to get in here and we're going to show you the difference of the abilities of different cutters. Now, what can a rotary cutter cut? It can cut everything from pasture grass, which is like tall rank grasses, but most rotary cutters are going to start out with what they call an inch diameter. This is an inch diameter capacity. It'll cut a tree off up to that size diameter. You have 1 inch cut capacities, then you have mowers that'll mow up to 1.5 inch. And then you get 2 inch cut capacities, and you start getting bigger diameters. Then you get up into 2.5 inch cut capacity. And then we start getting to the big dogs, 3 inch cut capacity. Yes, we've got mowers that'll chew up trees that large. We even got mowers that'll go to 4 inch. And then 4.5. And we've actually got a rotary cutter that'll cut up to a 5 inch tree, which that is a 5 inch diameter tree. To me, that's where a chainsaw comes into effect. But if you need a rotary cutter like that, Rhino Ag has a solution to fit your needs. Now let's get into model nomenclature. Rhino Ag makes it very easy. If we're going to go back over here to our TW10 series mowers, what's easy about Rhino Ag? The TW is the series. The 1 stands for 1 inch cut capacity, 6 is for 6 foot width of cut. Now, who can guess what size this mower is? Yep, it's a 1 inch cut capacity, 5 foot width of cut. This is a 5 foot, this is a 6 foot in the same series. Some of the common terminology of rotary cutters. If they talk about a single spindle, that means it has 1 gearbox and 1 set of cutting blades underneath. If you talk about a single tail wheel, that means you have 1 gauge wheel back here. You have 3-point style cutters that hook to the 3-point hitch. You also have a semi-mounted that uses the 2 lower links and it's carried on the tail wheels. Then there is a pull type mower conditioner that has traveling wheels and a hitch that hooks to your drawbar. That is your 3 main style of rotary cutters. Today you're getting the honor to see the next step up in rotary cutters and something totally new. Now, who can guess what this series is? It's a TW27. Yes, that's a 2 inch cut capacity machine, a 7 foot cut, but one of the unique things, this is still a 3-point style mower. We just unloaded them off the truck and we're getting ready to get them sold up. Now, the thing you can see in this 7 foot, our gearbox got a little larger. In this series, we actually go to a longer 5-year warranty on the gearbox. But the unique thing about this is it's going to have 2 tail wheels. As you can see up there, those 2 arms are going to connect here to these pins right here, and you'll have a double tail wheel off the back. You can see they're mounted up under here. We just unloaded them, got out the video camera to give you the world premiere of the new TW27 series dual tail wheel machine introduced from Rhino Ag. And the coolest thing about this is these are both pre-sold and getting ready to head to our customers that have been waiting on this new dual tail wheel design. It's designed for different categories of hitches. That's some of the things your dealer professional. You either have rubber deflectors or chain guards. This is a chain style guard for protection. And we'll get into that when we get over to the flex wing. But single spindle rotary cutters, typically you're going to look from 4 foot to up to about 7 foot. When you get into the 8 footers and 10 footers, you start getting the multi spindles. Typically 2 sets of gearboxes with a splitter gearbox, 2 sets of cutter heads under there, so you'd have 4 blades swinging. Speaking of multi-spindle designs, I had a pre-owned Rhino SE8A, which is still a current model that we've traded for. This is a dual tail wheel with a multi-spindle design. You can see the main drive shaft comes back to a main gearbox, and the power is transferred to each gearbox. You got a right gearbox and a left gearbox with a double blade carrier with a with 2 blades on each cutter to give you more cut. One of the things when you start going to more gearboxes, it actually reduces the amount of horsepower required. Now it's time for a little Vahrenberg Implement Physics 101 again. To understand gearboxes. Basically, a mower is just like trying to swing a chain over your head. If I got, well, that's about 2 foot there. That's pretty simple to swing over the head. But as you get longer, we'll go to about 3 foot here, it takes more energy to swing that chain. This is a good example of a single spindle gearbox. Now we're going to try about 4 foot. You can see that it takes a lot more energy for me to swing this and get the speed. Oh, there goes my hat. It's harder to keep it up in the air. That's basically the same thing a mower's doing. So smaller tractor takes more horsepower, or a smaller mower takes less horsepower than a larger mower. So a 4 foot cutter, it's kind of like swinging that 2 foot chain around. It's pretty simple and easy. When you get out to trying to swing 4 foot of chain, it's a lot harder. Now think about it, that's say a 1 inch cut. Now we're going to go to the big Brutus chain. Get about 2 foot here. That's pretty hard. Let's try about 3 foot. Yeah, that's taking more DB arm muscles. And we'll try 4 foot and see if we can even get it. Whoa! That's why you go to multi-spindles, because you can have 2 of them swinging at the same time. Small diameter takes less horsepower than swinging that big old heavy chain. That's the difference in cut capacity and horsepower requirements. And that's one of the big keys of learning what mower you need for your operation and what capacity and what horsepower. The easiest thing is just come visit a good dealer like Vahrenberg Implement. We're willing to sit down, put it all on the table, and teach you everything you need to know about rotary cutters and tractors. Now let's go learn about flex wings. That's the last type of mower and one of the most interesting ones. The last type of mower we're going to cover is what we call the flex wing cutter. The reason it's called a flex wing cutter is each one of these wings are hydraulically folded up and down, and you'll actually follow the contours. So like if you're mowing this ditch bank, you can have your cutter following the ditch bank where the center section is up on the flat area. One of the things with the flex wing cutter, and this is unique to the Rhino Ag, is our cast iron dog bone style pan carrier. We were talking about a round pan. Well, a round pan is just like a car on your, just like a wheel on your car. It has to be balanced when it leaves the factory so you don't get any vibration. What happens if you hit a stump or a rock? Yep, you just knocked it out of balance. You may knock the weight loose, you may knock it out of balance, and what you're going to do is get vibration. Rhino Ag has invented the dog bone pan carrier. It has several unique features to it. One of the unique features of it is not only do you have stump jumping ability out here on the outer circle, because this thing's going around at a very fast rate, but you also have stump jumping capability all the way back to this point here. So this whole area through here you can see is concaved. Both sides of it. It's made of ductile cast iron. You're not going to beat that up. And actually, when they were demoing this to us, they hit a manhole cover up at a project in Kansas City, and it only put a few scratches in it. No vibration. One of the easiest things is if you ever have to get to the gearbox seal. Gearbox life is all dependent on the lower shaft seal, and if for any reason that thing leaks, you have to have special presses and stuff to get a round pan style off. With this one, you just take these bolts loose. One guy can pick this up and hold it and take it to get to that gearbox to fix the seal in here. Less labor, makes it easier to maintain, and makes your investment last longer. You have dual swinging blades, and as you can see, these are some big beefy blades. But I'm going to tell you, we got a mower that's got a 6-inch wide blade versus this 4-inch that beats that 5-inch tree into smithereens. This is actually a 2150 series mower. This is a 2150 Rhino Ag. It's a 2-inch cut capacity. One thing with a flex wing, you have multiple wheel options. These are actually foam-filled airplane tires that are virtually flat proof. You ain't never going to get a flat in one of these tires. But the other thing that's good about a foam-filled airplane tires is you can travel down the road at higher speeds than a laminate. A laminate is good for about 15 miles an hour. And as you see, the flex wing also has a suspension system. The 2150 has a spring. When you get into our 3150, 4150, and 5150, which we're sold out of right now, they have a rubber dampening system. This does leveling by turnbuckles. You get phased hydraulics in our more advanced 3150 through the 4150, the 4155, and 5150. Got big skid shoes down here on both the wings and the center section to follow the ground contours. But the heart of it is underneath the hood. Rhino Ag has invested a lot into safety. The easier it is to maintain, the more safe you're going to be. They have this flip-up style hood that provides protection, and then you've got 360-degree protection on your gearboxes back there. But the most amazing thing, do you know who created the first 4 gearbox flex wing rotary cutter? Yep, Rhino Ag's heritage. This is part of our heritage, is creating this design. This is a flex wing rotary cutter. That is the terminology that the industry uses. You have your main PTO coming into a master gearbox. It splits it 3 different ways compared to that multi-spindle we only split 2 ways. You send the same power to all 3 gearboxes, and then you got big heavy blade gearboxes. This is what we call the divider gearbox, and that is our blade gearbox, and that's where your horsepower ratings are. Rhino Ag's horsepower ratings are based on actual in-field performance tests. They are PTO horsepower, not engine horsepower ratings. So if you got a 100 horsepower tractor and you got a 125 blade gearbox, you got more gearbox than your tractor can, horsepower your tractor can produce. Now, flex wing cutters come as an option as a rubber deflector. This is rubber belting to keep the thrown object protection. It's a little less expensive, or you can do the chain guards as we've seen on the TW27. This is a 15-foot cutter. We also make a 20-foot, but we also have a couple very special smaller flex wing cutters. This is the TS12. This only requires 35 PTO horsepower to get 12 foot of cut. It's a little brother to the 15-foot series, but it's advanced technology. It has rubber dampening suspension, which smooths the ride across rough fields, lighting, advanced curve design. It has the chain guards. It has foam-filled airplane tires. You can get different tire options, but this has the infinite blade carrier design like that TW27 back there. You notice this is a little smaller blade. This is designed to cut up to about inch material. Bigfoot skid shoes, heavy duty chain guards. Your divider gearbox, you just pull these 2 straps, flip it up, and there's your divider gearbox and everything there. We've got the hoses and everything tucked to keep them out of the weather. But the most exciting news is just released from Rhino Ag is the new TS10. It's a little brother to this, just announced. We've already placed our first orders and they should be coming in this summer. It only takes 25 horsepower and that machine can cut up to 2-inch cut capacity. Anybody guess what the TS stands for? TS12 is a time saver, 12-foot cut, because you can use a 35 horsepower large compactor utility tractor and almost double your cut capacity. We have 5 models in the 15-foot cutter capacity. This is the 2150. It's actually it's not a 2-inch, it's a 2.5-inch 15-foot cut. We make a 3150 3-inch cut, a 4150 which is a 4-inch cut, a 4155 which is a increased heavier driveline system, but it's a 4-inch cut, and then we make the bad dog, the 5150. I call it the tank. That is a 5-inch cut material machine for, and it will cut 15 foot. So big or small, we sell them all. We have sizes to fit your operation, your tractor needs, and your cut capacity. You want to mow down trees, we got the machine. If you want to mow just grass, we've got the machine. I hope that helped you learn a little more about rotary cutters and the correct terminology and some of the terminology and words that are used in rotary cutter industry. If you're looking for a brush hog, visit your local tackle store. That's where you buy brush hogs. If you're looking for a rotary cutter, come visit us at Vahrenberg Implement. We're here to help learn more about your operation and your needs. I think I'm getting ready to go tie one of these on and see if I can entice one of them big old bass. It's closing time at Vahrenberg Implement. I love bass fishing, but I also love helping our customers and you learn about the product, the terminology, and getting what you really need for your operation. Buying the product right the first time is what we're all about here at Vahrenberg Implement. So visit your local Rhino dealer, or come, if you're in West Central Missouri, come visit us at Vahrenberg Implement in Higginsville, Missouri. We're your Massey Ferguson Rhino Ag dealer. And if you're an equine owner, you better go check out equineequipment.com. There's an extra special bonus for equine owners. So check it out. It's actually on Massey and Rhino Ag, both products, now available from Equine Equipment. It's manufacturer's discounts for the equine world.